everybody, Lindsay here, and this is my review for Death of a Unicorn. Death of a Unicorn. The basic storyline is a father and daughter are on their way to this gigantic pharmaceutical billionaire family's house. He's trying to get in with them with some business dealings to try to make sure that him and his daughter are taken care of for a while. And on their drive through this preserve that the family owns that is surrounding this gigantic compound, they hit an animal. And that animal happens to be a fucking unicorn. And the rest of the movie follows them dealing with the fact that they hit this animal, their own family strife and struggles, and also dealing with this completely out of touch, blood-sucking, capitalistic, pharmaceutical conglomerate family and their plans for the unicorn.
Here's hoping we kill Bigfoot on the way home, huh?
My overall thoughts are, I had a great time watching this movie. It had great humor, it had horrific violence, and unicorns. The cast is outstanding. You have Paul Rudd, Jenna Ortega, Téa Leoni, Will Poulter, Anthony Carrigan, Richard Grant, and they all do a really good job. The characters are fleshed out very well, and they each have their own little thing going on. I really like the creature design in this, the design of the unicorn itself. There's a mix of practical and CG. It's mostly CG, but the way the story unfolds, it just kind of invites you to like, okay, this is a straightforward story. This has some magical realism to it. There's gonna be some CG, and it's done really well. And I think that is what really grabbed me about this movie was the fantasy elements, because yes, it's a very dark comedy, it's a horror movie, but it also has these wonderful fantasy elements to it that I really, really enjoyed. Growing up as a kid in the 80s and 90s, the movies that were out that I watched all the time, things like Willow, Legend, E.T., Alien, all of those creature genre, fantasy, sci-fi things that came out during that time are very present within this film. They even did like an 80s fantasy poster for it. The only negatives I really have about the movie is there's some pacing issues in the middle a little bit. This movie runs just under 2 hours. It kind of drags just a little bit right before the third act starts. And there's a couple of scenes towards the end that feel a little clunky, where they just didn't quite know how to bridge a small gap, so they just jumped over it. Which was fine. It still all worked and did not ruin the movie for me in any way. There was just a couple little okay moments in the film. No, I really felt like I had an experience going to see this movie, and I left the theater feeling good and feeling uplifted. It has a fun, feel-good ending to it. And if you, like me, grew up watching those movies, you can find a very warm place in this movie. That might sound weird to say, but it's there. And I mean, you'll recognize a lot of stuff in this movie, from sound effects to set pieces to archetypes, things like that. The writer-director did a really good job of infusing those elements into the movie. And there might be some people who think some of the references are a little too on the nose, which is fine. I mean, Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega's characters are named Ridley and Elliot. So, I mean, even just those names are drawing those comparisons to those films from the 80s and early 90s. It really is truly a fantasy movie. You get the lore and the magic with the unicorns, even though they're horrifically killing people, and juxtaposing those fantasy elements with really dark humor and lots of gore. It pains you in parts of this movie, things that are going on. Like, it really does make you feel something. So I highly recommend this movie. Go watch it, have fun with it, and just sit back and enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, I recommend Death of a Unicorn. And it might just give you that little something that makes you feel like a kid again. At least in my opinion. But that is going to do it for this little review. So until next time, this is Lindsay signing off. I'll check you later.